Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission in this beautiful world of ours. It is I, Mike Martins, bringing you trends in the housing market. Oh yeah, trends in the housing market. We are only, what, a week away, 2 weeks, and what are we, the 12th, 13th of December, 2018. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. A week and a half away from Christmas? Man, the year is just flying by. I am absolutely grateful and blessed. I got some really good news from my wife today. She went to go see the ultrasound doctor. I'll make another video on that separate. And we have a baby on the way, so we're kind of excited. And today we learned its gender, and I'm very excited. Anyways, guys, gentlemen, women, ladies, spectators, speculators, welcome to Trends in the Housing Market. It is I, Mike Martins, your housing discussion expert. Well, I'm no expert. I just like to talk. I like to talk the talk. And we got every English-speaking country covered tonight. We got the United States of America. We got Canada right here. We got the United States of America. We got New Zealand. We got the UK. We got Canada and Australia here. Lots of crap happening down under right now in Australia. And I got this thing here, this notice on my chat, guys. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. So warnings are going out because it looks like they want to start shutting down channels that go against the status quo. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, K-Pax in the comments saying, Mike, how much does your Vancouver dream house cost now? I went to see a few homes in Vancouver. I never had a dream house. One house I was looking at that was the size of this one, they were asking, I think it was just under $4 million for it. And I think it's just $3.1 million now. I think it went down a lot, but that house ain't worth it. Believe me. I mean, even made a video about it, and a lawyer called me and told me to take it down. No way. Because for it to be a dream house, it's got to be a dream city. I'd rather live in Merritt than live in Vancouver. Believe me, I would. Terranet, National Bank, only 3 small Canadian real estate markets are seeing price gains. Terranet is basically keeps track of numbers and stuff, and Terranet National Bank of Canada, that's who they are, that's right. Okay, this is what they got here. Here's the change, annual change. Oh, here's your decline in housing right there. This is from Canada, by the way. We're kicking off Canada first. Toronto real estates are down 4.12 from peak. There it is there. Look at that dip. Woof. It's an elephant trunk. And Vancouver continues to see price growth taper. 1.79% lower. So prices are starting to... Oof. Remember 2012, 2013? Just the Olympics were right here. 2010. Dip, 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 and that's what they got. And Montreal. Montreal's on fire right now. The unusual monthly decline for November accompanies an unusual market. Just over a year ago, the whole country printed the largest gains. These gains were fueled by largest credit expansion in Canadian history. Now that the credit expansion cycle is approaching contraction, we get to find out how much all of these homes are really worth. And that's what I'm talking about. Bang for the buck. Bang for the buck. Guys, Kevin Thompson's in the comments. Very important man. Very important man. Let's move on. 2 surveys predict Metro Vancouver housing won't face a big drop in 2019. Wow, so there's going to be no drop in 2019. Don't look for any big drop in housing and prices in Vancouver in 2019, despite the big drop of number of sales, according to a pair of forecasters released on Tuesday. Oh, that's nice. So, guys, I'll be the first to bring this news to you guys, especially if you're living in Metro Vancouver. You're all going to get a 60% raise right across the board. According to this, if housing doesn't come down, you should be making 60% more. Probably like a 200% more to just afford to get in the door. But let's not go there. Let's not go over a speculation here. But a good 60% raise, I think, might get you get your foot in the door in a good starter unit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Oh, the Royal LePage market forecast predicts prices will rise by 0.6% in 2019, bringing the median price in Metro just under $1.3 million. Again, guys, this is not pesos that are people watching this internationally. This is 1.3 Canadian dollars for a bungalow, and that's like 1.1 million US for a bungalow. It says that home prices will remain relatively flat during the year. I'm going to bet against this. I'm going to hedge heavily against this. I believe it's going to drop 3-4% every quarter, right through 2019. The region's healthy during the year. The region's healthy economy, excellent lifestyle, and beautiful natural surroundings will continue to support the real estate market long term. The city is an empty shell. There's nobody there. All the nightclubs are empty. Restaurant workers can't work there because they can't afford to live. Servers and stuff. You know? The drop in sales in key markets across British Columbia can be partially attributed to Canadians' increasing difficulty to getting affordable mortgages in the region. Who's going to pay? It's going to be at 1.3 mil for a bungalow. Don't worry, you're going to get your bungalow for 1. Who's going to enslave themselves for a bungalow? I get 1.3 million bucks. I can understand you pick up something in Arizona, 40 acres of land, helicopter pad, tennis courts, already finished. You don't have to just turnkey, walk right in. Fine. I get it. I'll pay that much for that kind of house. $1.3 million for a bungalow in an empty shell city? I don't mind Vancouver. I mean, I lived there for like 10, 12 years. I don't have a problem with the city. It's just an empty shell. There's nothing happening there. All right, people joining us in the comment section. No major home price drops for Metro Vancouver and BC. Next year forecasts. Again, Vancouver Courier. Okay, nobody cares about this stuff. Okay, here we go, guys. I want a free t-shirt. Online casino. Walmart survey, $100. RTP Natisish. Oh, RTP Natisish. Yeah, where was I? All right. I don't know why this happens. I think it's cute. I honestly think it's cute when it does this. So it won't go away till I get rid of all of them. So it's going to take a few seconds here if you're... I like the pop-ups with the sexy girls. Like this Walmart $100 Walmart card. Okay, it's still going here. Casino. Okay, I think we're done. Okay, let's go back. Cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. 2 surveys. Oh, God bless the surveys. Metro Vancouver housing market may look it's heading for a major correction, but 2 separate brokerages forecast, both published on December 11, assert this is not the case. So this one is saying 1.291 million for a bungalow. Woo! Okay, hello guys from Florida, now in Orlando. That's Marc-Andre Moses, 2-time world champ in the house here and trends in the housing market. Stan Ulch, I know you're an old man, Stan, because when you say no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, stop, you're old. You got to be at least 45, Stan Ulch. And Etal for Life survey says, yeah. Kevin Thompson, downloading too much porn. No, actually I'm not. If I was, I'd tell you guys, but I'm not. So again, $1.29 million for a bungalow in Vancouver. And when people are thinking, yeah, Mike, it's like this. It's not even these kind of houses. It's like, who cares type of house. It's like you're driving by. Hey, I bought a house for $2 million. Okay, let's go check it out. Okay, where's your house? I don't see a $2 million house here. It's right there. Oh, it's a who cares house. Why are you going to spend $2 million on a who cares house? Seriously, $2 million? Two surveys predict... Oh, yeah, screw these guys. Let's move on. Vancouver housing prices are finally dropping significantly, and we are shocked. It's an empty shell, this city. Vancouver is infamous for being one of the most expensive real estate markets in North America. Fortunately for us, a news release published today from Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver shows that both house prices and demand for housing in Vancouver have been noticeably dropping. The Real Estate Board claims that the report of housing market in Vancouver is transitioning from a seller's market to a buyer's one. Okay, who's going to pay $2 million for a bungalow? Sadiq Omar in the comments. I have been waiting for a while. I'm in Southern California. My budget's $1 million. How much longer should I wait? Don't wait. Get your bags, pack your car, and move to Las Vegas. Or move to Nevada, move to Arizona. Get the hell out of California. $1 million, if you have a budget of $1 million, go pick up the same house you want to get, size-wise for the family, like a nice 3, 4, 5 bedroom, in maybe outside of one of the major cities in Nevada, even maybe Salt Lake City, Utah, but a different city, and buy the same house for $350,000. Make sure it has a pool, though, for $350,000. Don't buy anything in California. California is a zone of pain right now. You don't want to buy anything in California. Oh yeah, $1 million will get you a small castle in other states, but not in California. California, you're looking at a bungalow for $1 million US. That's 1.22 million Canadian, and that's like 1.0 Australian dollars. Average price in Toronto is $1 million. We're big trouble, guys. And then Menza is saying, do you have to, my business is here. Downgrade it. Make half the money in your business, dude. Make half the money. Work less. And pick up a place for $300,000. If you have $1 million budget and you're looking to buy and stuff, make half the business. Be half productive and spend more time with the family. And pick up a house for $350,000. With an acre of land. Problem solved. Oh, guys. All right. Real Estate Board claims the report that the housing market in Vancouver is transitioning from a seller's market to a buyer's one. That means that will be easier for more favorable for more people looking to buy a house than those looking to sell one. You see this condo right here? This condo, hand to God, I'm not joking with you guys. A kind of condo like this in Vancouver, you know what you're looking at for that? I swear to you. $14 million for that. $15 million for a condo like that in Vancouver. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding you. That's like $15 million for a condo like that in Vancouver. Okay. The Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver reported that the numbers of residential property sales in the month of September 2018 dropped by 43.5%. This is what I've been saying. Oh, it's a supply and demand issue. It's a supply and demand issue. There's an oversupply on the market. Detached houses in the city of Vancouver sold for the average of $2.493 million in August 2018, which is 19% lower than it was 2 years ago at $3 million. Bungalow. See, in 2016, it was $3 million for a bungalow. And it's so close to your neighbor, you're so close to your neighbor, that they can hear you talking. So you have to, like, leave your house to talk to your family if you don't want your neighbors to hear you. Please type 1 if you could read this. I could see this, buddy. Sean, I could see your message, buddy. Yeah, Stenol, just... Buddy, how old are you? Kevin Thompson saying it's impossible to afford anything in the Greater Toronto area unless you make over 100 large per year with no other debts. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. You need to make 100 large a year to pay rent. We're not talking a glamorous life. We're not talking like top of the line. We're talking cheap whiskey, cheap champagne, and plastic fruit. We're not talking about the big deal. 100 grand a year? Forget it. I don't know if you remember that article I read about San Francisco that people have to apply for housing subsidy because they make 130 grand a year and it's not enough to live. The real estate data shows that the number of sales for detached homes in September 2018 dropped 40.4%. So, where's the oversupply? Oh my God, you know how much this costs in Vancouver? That's like $9 million for that house. $9 million bucks. You could buy an airport in some countries for that much money. A full airport. You could probably make more money off the airport than you would off this house. People are forgetting a house is a place to live. You don't make money off a house. If you do, that means you bought 30 years ago and you're looking to sell your house and take that money and go to Thailand or go to where your money takes you further. Because when you sell in this market, you got to buy back in the same damn market. So you're really not making anything. Unless you take that and go to Brazil, it's different. You take the $8 million from that house you sell, fine. You go to Brazil, you're fine. You take $8 million and you keep it in Vancouver, goodbye. Sadiq says, I gross $60K a month. I still feel like I still feel like I can't afford a dollar home. Am I being cheap? Dude, you're grossing 60 large a month. Okay? You have expenses, rent, overhead, payroll deductions, 401ks. You got all kinds of crap. Don't buy in to this madness. Remember 5 years ago what $1 million house looked like? Okay? I don't have to say anything anymore. It's not a bungalow. The Metro Vancouver housing market has changed pace compared to a few years ago. Again, you go back here, it tells you. There's Vancouver. Right here, it tells you. The average house. So we're talking about bungalow. Right now is 2.493 million, and 2 years ago it was 3 million. So somebody is out $600,000 if they bought in 2016. Somebody's out 600 large. Actually, quite a few people are out 600,000 in a negative position right now. When you're negative 600,000 and that's your position, good luck. Sean saying, you have mentioned in the Azores, how about a Canadian to move to work there? Canada and Portugal don't have a good immigration policy anymore. A lot of Portuguese were deported from Canada. Tens of thousands were deported. So Canadian going to Portugal now, there's nothing available for when it comes to work visas or any of that stuff. A lot of countries that were cut off by Canada in the 2000s, in the early 2000s, European countries basically told Canada where to go. They just, Canada burned its bridges with the whole world. Vancouver housing prices are finally dropping significantly. We are shocked. I just read that. Vancouver housing. Unsold homes pile up as Vancouver sales plunge 42.5. There's a pile up. There's an oversupply, guys, on the market. Look at what's happening. Demand versus housing versus demand versus what's happening to demand for housing in Vancouver. Even Vancouver homeowners want prices to drop. Vancouver's housing in the dumps. Sales hit 18-year low. In bidding wars, home buyers are writing letters to plead their case. Canadian house prices have recovered their losses from the slump. You think they recovered from 2 years ago, $600,000? I don't think so. Homeowners of $4 million Vancouver homes say they can't afford the tax bump. Well, when you pay $4 million for a bungalow, what do you think is going to happen? A bungalow is $300,000, not $4 million. Woo! Marc-Andre Moses says, sorry about Vancouver. It's rain every day. It is very boring to live there. It is very expensive. Yeah, you don't get bang for your buck. You don't get no bang for your buck. You're thinking, oh, I'm going to live in this very expensive city. It's going to be like Sarasota. It's going to be like living in Hollywood Hills. I'm going to be like that guy. You know that guy on YouTube that goes, hey, man, this is my $300 million mansion, and these are my Lamborghinis, and I read a book a day. You're going to think it's going to be like that, but when you get there, it's not like that. Mike Martin, if you make $60K a month, would you save that money and move to... No, it doesn't work like that, guys. My store in Vancouver, downtown, my department store in Vancouver, there was some months I cleared $100,000 and $140,000 gross. But after I paid suppliers and payroll and all that stuff, it's not what you guys think. Believe me. It's what you make net. It's what you take after net and then after corporate tax on top of that. Vancouver just had its cruelest April in 17 years. Thousands of properties in Vancouver will be subject to empty homes tax. Vancouver detached home sales plunged nearly 40% from a year ago. So here it is. Home sales are plunging. There's an oversupply on the market. And this is from the Vancouver Housing Huffington Post Canadian edition. Growing population in Toronto and Hamilton need housing. Missing middle, report says. The Greater Toronto and Hamilton region could be short 165,000 homes by 2041. What are they talking about? No one's having kids. Nobody's having kids. The Canadian proper, there's more Canadian proper dying than there are having kids. So what the hell are they talking about? They're going to need 165,000 more homes by 2041. Our population is in decline. The people that live here and lay roots can't afford to live here anymore. They're not having kids. So I'm going to debunk that. That's done. I'm done with that. Real estate slowdown to cost Toronto nearly $100 million. Toronto's cooling real estate market is on track to cost the municipal government nearly $100 million in tax revenue. Something critics of Mayor John Tory warn could face the city to choose between higher property tax, hikes, or cuts to services in the next year's city budget. A report going before Toronto's new city council on Thursday. The city's, they're doing budgets now. All the new councillors, they're in budget season now. What's going to be really exciting? Finance department says that as of the September 30th, revenue from the city's municipal land transfer tax levied on all properties was off by $59.47 million. And on pace to being $99 million lower than planned. Finally dries on the city in 2018 books. So, you know what? They got to raise taxes. I think my grandma has a house in Toronto too. My grandma still has her house in Toronto. And she's paying I think it's like $11,000 a year in property tax. It's almost $1,000 a month in property tax. That's my grandma. And my aunt. And my other aunt and my uncle. They all live in the same house in Toronto, in a very nice area too, but they're paying almost $1,000 a month in property tax. Kevin Thompson has a good point. How can prices go any higher if people can't afford to buy? Well, it's not the people, it's not the Canadian proper that's buying anymore. It's not the people that have sacrificed themselves in this country, built the infrastructure, paid taxes, raised kids, sent their kids to school, went to church on Sundays. It's not those people. Those people can't afford anything anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now they want to get Uncle Louis to come from Italy. It's like, no, Uncle Louis, you can't come from Italy. Why? My grandfather went there, paid off a house in 2 years, and bought a cottage and 3 cars and put his 3 daughters through school. What are you talking about? Well, Uncle Louis, things have changed. You come here with a burlap sack over your shoulder and 50 cents in your pocket, you're homeless. You're going nowhere. Oh, what if I work 2 jobs? You're still couch surfing. You're probably couch surfing by then. Mark 86 has a really good okay, wait. No, Sean, that's wrong. Sean Bowen saying China is the only country in the world to have no. Spain has lots of ghost cities. Spain tried to be like Portugal. And they effed up big time. No, Spain has a lot of ghost cities. Spain ghost cities. Look, this is Spain. See, Spain has so many, right here. Ghost Town 2 in Spain. They have so many of them. That looks like Bill Clinton standing there, but it's not. Oh yeah, Spain's got tons. Look at this. Spain's got so many ghost cities, it's phenomenal. You guys have no idea. This one I was in Angola, in Portuguese Africa. This is an entire ghost city. It was built by China. Ghost towns of China, Ireland, Spain, fully leveraged, and this one's in Portuguese Africa, in Angola. Its phenomena is working its way to Africa. This, I've been here. This is about 40 minutes from Luanda. This is very intriguing to see. They maintain the landscape, they maintain the roads, the lights. There's nobody there, it's empty. So it's not just China that's got ghost cities, okay guys? There's a lot of cities out there that are like this. Okay, real estate slowdown to cost Toronto nearly $100 million. Nobody cares. Let's move on. Modest price gains expected in real estate in 20... Ooh, let's make some money. Modest price gains expected in real estate in 2019. Canadian realtors are predicting modest gains in the Toronto and real estate housing market in 2019. A return of pre-bubble balance that will see home prices climbing in the low single digits. Again, Roy LePage. Rest in peace. Oh, that's my daughter. Wow, she's got a good set of lungs on her there. More vacant properties on Toronto real estate market, broker says. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of properties for sale. Toronto's got 110,000 empty homes. That's a lot of friggin' empty homes, guys. There's going to be a lot of empty homes for sale. Okay, SG in the comments says, I think prices will plummet severely over the next 3 years. Oh, you got it. It's already occurring. Daniel O'Brien in the comments saying, the Paradise people from the Paradise, California fires have moved all over the place. Some moved to my area. They are paying about $1,000 a month to rent. They cannot afford anymore, having to move way far away. Best website saying a 50% drop. I think 50% is sweet. I think it's cute. but 50% is still out of a lot of people's price range. I did a payment calculator thing with a couple of people on the phone live, on the show live. We did a payment calculator. We went through the stress testing. We did the whole 9 yards. So the average person that wants to buy, we're doing a townhome that was like $690,000 for a townhome. And we calculated how much you really need to make. You have to make like $180,000 a year, and you have to put down $150,000 to mortgage a $600,000 townhouse. No one's making $180 a year. And if you're not, why are you going to make that much money and live in a tiny townhouse, a 3-bedroom? So that's like what I'm talking about here. So who's going to pay that much money for... Mark Andre Moses says, in America, they don't have a middle class, just rich or poor. Emma Murdy saying, my realtor told me we are in a declining market, and he has been in denial for ages. Okay, market property, Toronto, real estate, says brokers. Recent GTA activity shows gains in almost all housing types. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see the numbers and I actually see some graphs, because everything I'm seeing is down. Meanwhile, condo supply grew. Condo supply grew by 30%. There's 30% more condos on the market. It's an oversupply. 40% more townhouses enter the market in the first half of September. 40% more townhouses. We're not 4%, 40. Detached home inventory rose 81% from 2018. There's an oversupply on the market. And with the cranes in Toronto and all these pre-builts, and you gotta buy or you never afford. There's an oversupply on the market. Prices, okay, if it goes down 50%, that's cute. I think that's kind of cute. But I think it's gonna go down more than 50 points. You know, we could afford it. Who the hell's going to pay $1 million for a bungalow? Belinda Mercer saying, when are you moving back to Florida, Mike? I would, but I couldn't get citizenship. I did everything by the book. Got a lawyer. I even ran ads for my lawyer ran ads for 6 months to make sure I wasn't stealing an American's job. I got a huge corporation, a technical facility to sponsor me. I paid all the fees and all the doctor stuff, and I went for my interview, and they're like, try again in 5 years. We're not looking for your kind here. So that's that. So you gotta, Belinda, you gotta be happy for your country. You gotta be happy because they're denying people from coming in. So when everyone says, oh, all these people coming in, to Florida or California or Texas. No, a lot of us leave. I couldn't get citizenship. I paid my way. I did everything by the book. You know, so your country is doing their job. If they don't want a specific person in there, they make it clear. Why buying and selling homes in the GTA is about to get easier. Here we go. A sold sign in front of a West End Toronto home. Anyone who's ever lost a bidding war for a home or seen a sold sticker slapped on the neighbor's front lawn often give the question, how much do you think the house sold for? In Toronto, the information long being kept relatively concealed from the masses. Oh, it's the most important investment you'll ever make in your life, and they're concealing for the longest time in Toronto and the GTA what stuff is selling for, so you know how to pull comparables. So you know what your property's worth. It's so stupid. What it means for buyers. Anyone who has bought a home in the Greater Toronto area over the past couple of years can tell you about asking prices. They don't mean a whole much. Real estate agents have long used the tactic of underpricing homes in order to get multiple offers, starting bid war and then sell home well over asking. Yeah, that's just the thing. The home buyers would see a $799,000 asking price, but they realized it was eventually to sell over $1 million. See how they're conning people, undervaluing. That's $799. Is and if we were together to see the house that was for $799, I could bet you 100 to 1 that house realistically is worth 200 grand. Realistically. All right, let's move on. Okay, where were we? So we are, I guess we'll hit where's the United States? Where are you, USA? Yeah, USA. 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 Emma Murty, Mike Martins, any thoughts on the UN Migration Pact? Yeah, check out my video on my channel. Let me do a plug on my channel here. It's like, we're changing countries here, so, oops. Where'd it go? Where'd America go? Here we go. America. Let me go to my YouTube channel, guys. Check out my YouTube channel. I did a whole thing about that. The one thing that doesn't make any sense is migration is illegal. Immigration is legal. Migration is 100% illegal. I looked into it. I even talked to a foreign affairs minister for Guatemala. And a foreign affairs minister / lawyer told me that migration is illegal. And in countries like Guatemala, you could actually face prison up to 90 days and deportation. And that's Guatemala. So let me go to here. So there's my channel here. Click over here, go to my channel. And then check out what I got going on. I did a video here, guys. There's the trends in the housing market here. There it is. Global Compact for Migration Live Talk. There it is. Special Mike in the Night emergency broadcast. Canada is working its way to basically sell itself out. And what kills me about Canada, guys, and it breaks my heart, is Canada is the torchlight and the beacon for all countries. And it kills me. Oh, this is fantastic. We're going to be the leaders of this. We're going to show every country how this works and how we can do so well as for Canadians. And Canadians are so proud of these. Oh, it's like, oh my God, why are you involving everybody in the country without even asking our opinion? Yeah. Someone says, what if he loses the next election? Well, the next election platform is going to be vote for me and we'll get you out of this huge mess we're in. Okay, let's kick off the United States of America because this is a problem, guys. And I want to actually go to this one first. Let me find it here. There's one Oregon budget proposal. Oregon's in bad shape right now. Seattle's in... I read this one earlier. Right here. Let's start off with this one. Homeless increasing as rent in Las Vegas skyrockets. Guys, this is published today at noon. And let me explain to you what the problem is. Why Las Vegas is increasing in rent. They're doing rent evictions. So they're evicting people or tenants that had been living, let's say, in their apartment or house for like 20 years. And they're evicting them so they could paint the place and charge more money for people for California. Rent prices in Las Vegas are on the rise. More apartment complexes are added across the valley. I remember that I had an apartment in South Summerlin and I was renting it on a mountain view, everything, and it cost me $750. Now the same apartment's like $1,200. So what's happening, guys? Rent evictions. And guys, it is a huge problem right now in the state of Nevada because a lot of landlords are getting super greedy because they're realizing they could charge more for people. They could charge more for people from California.
Tonight, the Las Vegas housing market is booming, but it's coming at a cost for Valley families. A new report is now showing a connection between homelessness and skyrocketing rents.
Well, it is certainly becoming tougher for families to keep a roof over their heads. And 13 Action News anchor Carla Wade now gives you a closer look.
Even if you haven't lived in Las Vegas long, you've probably noticed as more apartment buildings go up, so does the cost to live in them.
And I remember I had an apartment out in Summerlin, and when I was renting it, it had a mountain view and everything, and it would cost me $750. That same apartment now is like, $1,100-$1,200.
That was 7 years ago for Ryan McDonald, the Homeless Services Coordinator for Salvation Army of Southern Nevada.
Without affordable housing, we're always going to have an epidemic when it comes to homelessness.
Zillow research estimates more than 7,000 people were homeless in Las Vegas, which is higher than the official government count. If you've ever been apartment shopping or house hunting, chances are you've probably used one of these online rental calculators. They help you determine just how much rent you can comfortably afford. Now, most experts say that your rent should never exceed more than 30% of your monthly income. That's known as the rent burden. A new report found homelessness goes up when the rent burden is over 32%. The rent burden in Las Vegas is at 34%. McDonald says it's a huge stumbling block for families with minimum wage jobs and people simply trying to get on their feet. Rent assistance programs usually come from grants, which may only cover a deposit or first month's rent, making it hard to maintain a residence.
If that money's gone, then 9 times out of 10, they're going to end up out on the street.
But McDonald says while there are other factors at play, the key to addressing homelessness is affordable housing, which for many remains in short supply. Carla Wade, 13 Action News.
Wow. See that? That's a problem, guys. And why is it happening in Nevada all of a sudden? It's because everyone from California left, and they're hitting up Nevada, Arizona, and Salt Lake City, Utah. They're hitting up all those states. And, oh, Mike, what are you talking about? 6 million Californians left in the last 6 years! That's a huge portion of Canada's... That's like half of Canada. 6 million people left California. So, Southern Nevada home prices more than twice the national rate. Again, guys, Las Vegas home prices keep rising fast among major cities. A new report showed that buyers are pulling back. Southern Nevada prices are up 13.5% year over year in September. More than subscribe for all unlimited access. No, thank you. San Francisco, watch this one. I read this one earlier. It's a separate video, but I'm going to throw that up there later for you guys. San Francisco is so expensive that waiters can no longer afford to live in the city, and it's changing the way restaurants are serving food and hiring workers. So, all these cities are burdened with this. Vancouver, a year ago, I read the same article. That's 2 years ago in Vancouver. A bungalow was $4 million. A bungalow! So, San Francisco is so expensive that waiters can no longer afford to live in the city. The housing market in San Francisco is so expensive that it's commonly referred to as being in a crisis. Restaurant workers are fleeing the city's unmanageable costs, The Guardian reported, and it's changing the way the industry is serving customers. Some restaurants are having customers order at the counter instead of being waited on at a table, or simplifying their menus to decrease the size of their waitstaff. The problem isn't unique to the Bay Area. Restaurants in cities like New York, Washington have encountered similar staffing issues. Oh yeah, it's getting that bad. This happened in Vancouver, and what happened in Sydney, Australia was the most interesting thing. They actually built a condo somewhere in Sydney. I don't know where, but it's somewhere in Sydney, like in the middle of the city somewhere. And that was a government-built condominium to house police officers, garbage men, postal workers, surgeons, plastic surgeons, like everybody of importance, because they can't afford to live in their own city, and they're not going to commute 2 hours every day to go to work and 2 hours to go home. So they had to build. So there's one condo tower there where it's all populated. There's people everywhere. I'm like, wow! This tower is happening. And then when you ask, It's all professionals that are renting there because they can't afford to live in the city. Hobo camps and riding rails are popular again. That's right, Stan. Kevin Thompson, interest rates need to go up at least 10%. That's very true. Art and Soul says home mortgages or rent should not exceed 20% of one's income. This has been standard for decades. Now it's 30% or more. And the actual percentage is now much higher and affordable. Well, because you're getting taxed more on your pay, right? So you got to use your net income. I don't care what you make gross. People should move to South Dakota to get cheaper rent. Will California move into South Dakota? This is hurting retail. Oh, retail confidence is finished. Consumer confidence is done. Consumer confidence is over. Brother John in the house. Cities will become places for the rich served by AI. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. 100%. South Dakota, baby. Yep. Best website is saying it's like 60-70% of someone's income in Canada. It is. Best website's not lying. I read that article where it was 66% in some cases, and some people making a six-figure income need to save for 20 years to put a down payment on a condo. Here, where are my shackles? If I got into something like that, guys, please, somebody just take me right out. If I get into something like that, I'll ruin my family's life doing something like that. I would ruin my life. I'd be a slave. Just put the shackles on me right here. Right here. Put them here. I'm not resisting. Just take me away. People have no idea what they're getting themselves into. And I've been warning you guys. I ain't no Captain Obvious. There's a lot of Captain Obviouses coming now on the housing market, talking about housing and this and interest rates and this is going up and people can't afford and people are defaulting. I'm like, holy smokes, it's Captain Obvious. Where were you 7-8 years ago when I was making videos about this and everyone was saying I was a lunatic? Where were all these people? Where are all these economists? All these, housing is a big deal now. Where were you guys? Well, you're going to start making videos now because it's so obvious? Lots of Captain Obvious channels out there. Lots. And people that are true to me know that this has been going on for many years, and they've been following me for many years. I still remember reading articles about the interest-only mortgages 3-4 years ago. About what's happening in Australia and the UK with their interest-only mortgages years ago. And I kept saying how ludicrous and crazy that was. And people were saying I was dumb. Sean Bowen says, in 30 years, we'll be living like Mad Max, 1,000,000%. Hugh Jazz in the comments. McFly came from the future to warn us. Many Americans have moved to Mexico, the one place that nuclear fallout won't hit wind currents. Sean Bowen says you've been right all along. It's not about me being right. It's not about me being, hey, you did this and that. It's about me staying on track, keeping my show going, telling the masses. It's the Captain Obviouses that come out of nowhere. It's like, by the way, if interest rates go to this, and then if this goes to here, and if the bank doesn't lend this much, and then if we do this, and then people are looking at this, and then this interest only is going to come from fruition, and then we're going to take that, and we're going to put this into this graph and show you what's happening here. Well, what were you 5-6 years ago warning people? I was. I put my money where my mouth was. I left the city. I bought in a small town. Economist, Seattle's slow housing market, only a blip. Seattle's crashing, Emerald City's crashing, and because of the lack of foreign investing is not coming into Seattle anymore. A lot of, once Vancouver hit that foreign buyer's tax, a lot of people moved to King County in the south, and a lot of people moved east to Toronto. And both cities went through the roof 18, 19 months ago once they implemented the foreign buyers tax. And Seattle was one city that got hit pretty hard with foreign investing. And so was Toronto. Seattle housing market shows signs of cooling off. So they're having an oversupply on the market. A major oversupply on the market right now. Fires and ripple effect on housing. Housing is already tight, both Oregon and California, and Camp Fire wiped out nearly 14,000 homes in a single day. Many decisions remain to be made about the future of Paradise, where most of the homes were lost. So it's causing a ripple effect in the housing market. Of course, we had someone in the comments section talk about it. That's pretty sad. And if these houses were like the ones that, like how they build them in Portugal, it's all rebarb and poured concrete. You would go in there and just power wash all the walls, power wash the floors because they're all concrete, like poured cement, and then just repaint everything and then refurbish it. But because it's all wood and plywood and plywood, and what is that? Particle board. It's and there's the brick. See how the brick just maintained, but everything else died? That's probably even plastic fake brick too. Who knows? Authorities in Oregon and Washington receive additional vouchers to house homeless veterans. These are people who fought wars. Vets that were stationed all over the world. Yeah, Low Roll the Scratcher is bringing up a good point. I covered this like a year ago, and we covered the story, and we had a guy on the show on Skype that was living in Mexico, but he worked in America every day. And Low Roll Scratcher's commenting here saying, American work in California and they live in Mexico so they could save money for rent. That's happening a lot, guys. That's just not a lot of people living at the border cities in Mexico. Then Agrodemi Melbourne, our real estate agent trying to gain customers has mailed their clients stating they're expecting 5% gain in real estate by the end of 2019. They're desperate for Guys, if you receive anything in the mail from a real estate agent, take it and burn it. Or take a picture of it and email it to me. And then we'll actually... I'll put them on the show. I'll put those flyers on the show, and let's see how we, debunk these things. Someone's asking me, do you think Mexico will be next on housing crisis next, since a lot of Americans and Canadians moving to Mexico? Nope. Never. Never. Mexico will never have a housing crisis like this because foreigners can't own in Mexico. Period. That's why they're doing leases, like 99, 50-year, 30-year lease with the government of Mexico. But a person like myself, I've already been to Mexico. I've been to Mexico many times. I lived there for 2 years. I try to buy a house in Guerrero, in the state of in the city of Tasco, and I try to buy a house in Juliantla. In Guerrero too. And I was going to pay for it just upright because it was so cheap. But they said you can't own the house because you're a foreigner. So, no, there will be no housing crisis in Mexico because foreigners can't own. Period. Let's move on. Oregon budget proposal targets health, housing, and Donald Trump. Oh, blame Donald Trump on everything. That's how it works. What do you think he got voted in? He got voted in to be blamed for everything. New Mountain Road housing coming soon. Bay Area leaders propose aggressive housing fix and new agency to get it done. Yeah, just throw a couple of $1 million towards an agency and they get serious F all done. Nothing gets done. Someone's saying Ricky Tomatoes. Mike, what happened to Etheria? I have no idea. I sold that stock a long time ago, and I bought oil when it crashed 3 times. And I'm up 11% on oil right now because I bought it when it was so crashed. Oh, they're having a meeting here. Okay. Oh, yeah. You see that? You see that house right there? You see that? There's a little store here, and that house right there. Pfft, that's like $5 million bucks. Oh, $5 million bucks. All right, you see this house right here? $2 million bucks. Okay. All right. Deal preserving low-cost housing hailed and Ed Lee's real. There's so many articles right now. This one's from San Francisco. I don't know if you guys saw Paul Joseph Watson's video on San Francisco is a SHI hole. Guys, don't forget to check my channel out. I'm trying to get to 7,000 subs by Christmas. I don't think it's going to happen. We got 2 weeks till Christmas. Or less than 2 weeks. I am 125 subscribers away. I don't think I'll make it, but that's okay. I like to set goals and numbers and kind of follow through with them and feel good that I've accomplished something. All right, let's get out of America now. Let's move on to... where are we here? Let's go to the UK real quick here. So we covered Canada. What a joke. $4 million for a bungalow. UK house price growth slips to 6-year low amid Brexit uncertainty. Again, they're blaming Brexit, and the average UK home was at £224,000 in November, 1.4% lower than the previous month. The UK has been sliding for the last decade. They're finished. They're going back to 6-year low. UK's finished. The UK, London, and places like affluent tourist places are all ghost cities, ghost shells. You know, everyone kicked all the people out and put Airbnb and stuff. So, people are saying here, Kevin Thompson, Emma, you missed the chance to buy. Oh, yeah, Kevin Thompson, hey, you guys gotta... Kevin, you need to relax, okay, buddy? Kevin, you need to relax. You know, you need to relax, Kevin. Just take a pill and chill, buddy. You own a condo, okay? That's fantastic, dude. House prices grew the slowest in almost 6 years in November as wavering consumers confident before UK's departure from the EU look its toll in buying in the housing market. If the UK leaves, if the UK leaves the euro, it's the best thing that will ever happen to it. So they're always blaming something. Why don't they blame affordability levels, lack of jobs, and increase in wealthy investors? Why don't they start pointing the finger on what's really happening in the UK instead of blaming Brexit? Brexit. No, it's actually Donald Trump. Blame Donald Trump. Look at this, UK, you losers. Start pointing the finger at what's really causing the problems, and I promise you, you'll solve your problem. Brexit keeps bruising the British housing market. Again, look, they're down on 6-year lows in the UK. Do you know why? It's because of low wages, cost of living, wealthy investors, empty cities. Hey, we can name it. Securing financing, historically low interest rates. We could talk about this for hours. These low interest rates created an artificial bubble, and now housing is not worth what it's worth. Yep, let's keep going here. UK housing crisis hurts the young and the poor. What'd you think? Was it going to bother anyone? Look at those houses, all empty. Like 96,000 empty homes in London. All investment homes. Keep the markets high, keep the rents high. Look at that. That could have been a nice house for a family to live in and raise a family. How will Brexit impact the UK housing market? Nobody cares because Brexit has nothing to do with the housing market. And universal credit rolled out of the whole of the UK. Let me guess. Brexit! Universal credit has reached every job center in the UK, meaning that new benefit claimants will no longer be able to use the old welfare system. A full digital service of government's flagship welfare reform program. I don't know why this is here. So if you're on welfare, wake up. Something's happening. Ghost of Carolyn's hangs over housing contracts for UK asylum seekers. Edinburgh. British government contracts £4 billion to house asylum seekers that have drawn few bids for private firms to sign at the collapse of the Carlin was down. Okay, so they're putting up an asylum. No one's interested in investing. Not enough money in it. Homes England acquisition boosts housing in Coventry. Homes England has acquired land in Coventry to deliver hundreds of homes. Yeah, just leave them empty. And morning briefing, attack on homeless people triple in 5 years. So a lot of people, a lot of homeless Brits are being attacked. And it's actually getting worse. It's getting pretty bad. And a lot of them are families that are having this problem right now. So the UK is in a poop shell right now. Right now there's mass protests in Ireland right now. There's weekly protests now. The homelessness in the UK and in Ireland right now in Dublin is over 10,000. A lot of people moving north to Northern Ireland to Belfast because housing is more affordable there. And then you got a lot of people in Edinburgh in Scotland. The housing woes are hitting them there too, and people are couch surfing and people working 2 jobs just to pay rent or just to pay for a couch to sleep on. All right. That's the UK for you guys there. I'll keep you guys on the pulse with the housing protests in Dublin and in Ireland with a lot of the colleges there. And Scotland reached 30,000 homeless, by the way, in Scotland. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw this. Let's see if we can find it here. The amount of children that are homeless and families. It's there's charities. Oh, I'm sorry. 43,000 people in Scotland became homeless last year. I thought it was 30,000. I'm sorry. 43,000 in Scotland. Like, is anyone paying attention to what's going on here? Is anyone even paying attention? Like, I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, I thought it was 30,000. I was wrong. It's 43,000 people in Scotland became homeless last year. That's how many people became homeless last year. All right. Let's get out of the UK now. I'm trying to find some stuff on New Zealand and the new foreign buyers tax thingy that's going on. For banning foreign buyers. All right. There's Australia. What was this? Okay, let's look at these real quick and shut them down so I know where I'm at. Oh, it's Canada. We did Canada. We did Canada first. And then we jumped to where's the United States of America? I think it's this one. Yeah, this is the United States of America. I can't believe this. San Francisco is so expensive that waiters can no longer afford to live in the city. The service industry is going downhill. There's no way anyone can afford anything anymore. These are people who work 50, 60 hours a week. All right, that's done. Let's head over to New Zealand. We did the UK. 43,000 people in Scotland became homeless last year. Oh, Ireland's, it's pretty bad too in Ireland too. And all these people work. All right, let's do New Zealand first. Not too much coming out of there right now. New Zealand removes letting fees for tenants, so they're making it easy for people, for renters to come in. Housing and Urban Development Authority, Auckland and Wellington mayors want to be heard. So there's a lot of problems happening right now. They've expressed collaboration over a newly announced housing authority. So they want to start changing things around. Phil Tyford is the housing minister there in New Zealand, and this new parliament or new government that was voted in promised housing and promised to make housing, you know, what's happening in the housing sector in New Zealand is phenomenal. Phil Tyford unveils new housing and urban development authority, so we'll see what happens with that. I think they had an old guard that was there that basically didn't change anything for like 100 years. A buyer's market, flood of new property listings across New Zealand. Guys, this is a very important article since New Zealand banned foreign buyers from buying. So when we say foreign buyers, that's myself too. If I go to New Zealand, they'll tell me, you can't buy here. You're a foreigner. They'll be like, you're a Portuguese. You can't buy here. Don't be silly. All right, here we go. I'll give us some comments here. Toronto doesn't seem to be dropping, even though sales are slowing. Prices are still moving up. Low Roller Scratcher says they can't afford to hire firefighters in San Francisco if they can't afford rent. Yeah, that's true. Sean Bowen. Mike, is it possible to have a crowd-funded bus? We can send you a video of the build. Well, yeah, if you're going to build one of those buses, like to live in and stuff, start a YouTube channel. Start uploading videos and showing people what's going on. You could send me videos of the build. I don't care. I'll upload it to my channel. I have no problem. Kevin Thompson says, Greg, I don't understand how it's possible, but it's happening. Then the Lost Connect saying Max for Prime Minister. We need to understand too many pensions invested in the housing market, says the Lost Canuck. It's very true. We've been following with the Lost Canuck very closely what's happening with pensions and a very bad mismanagement of funds. Holy Christ. Okay, a buyer's market flood, new property listings in New Zealand. Wow, that girl's pretty. A flood of new property listings have experts calling an end to a flat market period. Realestate.co.New Zealand released figures on Monday showing that 10,372 new listings across the country in September. That's an 11.7% increase in the same time last month a year. But Auckland's listings blow that number out of the water by 31.9%. Real estate companies advise renting out leaky homes. Landlords should be banned from renting out bad homes, and its bad outlook, half of those turning 65 in 2040 will have to rent. So a lot of people going into retirement with paying rent. So here it is there. There's the amount of property listings right now in New Zealand. So you got Northland up 13.7%, Auckland, of course, 31.9%, Wellington, 13.5%, and Southland at 21.2%. So you're going to start to see it. It's going to become more of a buyer's market. But I suggest people to hold off in New Zealand because I believe that prices will completely start going down, and prices will keep going down. And the reason why is because there's going to be too much properties on the market, and it's going to be an oversupply in the market. And the New Zealand proper could not afford their own house, a house in their own country, because it's just way too expensive. And they're not dumb. They're not going to pay $800,000 or $1 million New Zealand dollars for a house. You know, it's why would you enslave yourself? So they're working together here to get a new housing development authority in New Zealand. So we'll keep our finger on the pulse there and see what happens. Now, with the amount of banning foreign buyers, I think New Zealand's going to see a ton by this winter in New Zealand, because it's spring now. They're heading into summer right now in New Zealand. You're going to see, right now, spring sales are flat in New Zealand. Flat. Give it to winter in New Zealand, you're going to see so much inventory on the market. It's going to be phenomenal. More people from other towns working to tackle housing problem. The cost of home in Nelson is just short of $600,000. Too much money. Too much money. And we're talking a bungalow, like nothing specifically, you know. We lost our life. Wrongfully evicted housing New Zealand tenants just want new homes. The government will begin paying compensation to housing New Zealand tenants wrongfully kicked out of their home over methamphetamine testing, with an average payout of $8,000 for household goods destroyed or damaged. But many of those 55 tenants just want a new home. So a lot of people, there was this whole meth testing fiasco lie that was going on in New Zealand, where a lot of homes were considered condemned by meth usage, but it was a lie. There was a lot of lying going on in the underlying things. Best website said we are ruled by complete morons. That's 1,000,000,000%. We need less government. A lot of people said, Mike, are you against the government or are you against... No. Oh, no. I just don't want the government around. I don't want to create more government jobs. That creates more money from the private sector funding the public sector. No. No. I don't want to be governed on what music to listen to. I don't want to be governed on everything I do. Towns throughout New Zealand worried about drugs and housing crisis. Again, more problems. The organization interviewed more than 600 people on the streets of Katawati, Wagarai, I can't pronounce this, New Plymouth, Hornby, for its Site of Communities report released today. When asked what they would say if they could talk to the Prime Minister about their community, people in the 6 communities raised serious concerns about drugs, housing, lack of mental health services, and economic problems that were holding back in their neighborhoods. So housing is one of the main issues. So is drugs. That's New Zealand for you guys. Oh no, my desktop. Lots of icons I gotta delete off that. And let's talk about New Zealand. Let's hit up some comments in the comment section. Sorry, sir, we're going to hit Australia now. Australia's going to be hit the worst. In the Commonwealth, Australia is one of the first. Australia is so bad that the people working in the institutions, like working in these financial institutions, have no idea what they're doing. They don't even know their own laws in their institution. They don't have any idea what's going on there. Oh, I have a degree in this, and I have this, and then I have that, and I'm working in this, and I'm working in a bank, and this and that. Do you know the laws of your... Do you know what you're doing? Low Roller Scratcher saying, Oh, Lord Humongous is in the comments. Thank you, Lord Humongous. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Okay, Kevin Thompson says they sized... yeah. Low Roller Scratch is saying you want everything private sector. Build schools, roads, police. No government. Yeah, what do you need government for? I mean, you need government to protect your borders. Because I'm not going to go out and protect my border. You need government to make sure... like, immigration is one of the biggest deals. One of the biggest problems is immigration. Immigration and migration. But things are going sideways right now in Canada with that. So guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, please. Thank you very much. There it is right there. I need you guys to subscribe. I want to see if I can get... I am 6,871. Let's see if I lost a sub or gained a sub. It's so hard on YouTube. Ooh, I gained 4 subs. I'm at 6,875. I want to see if I could get to 7,000 subs by Christmas. That will be my Christmas gift. I need 125 subscribers. If you guys could subscribe to my channel, I just feel accomplished. That's all. So here's some stories I did today. Portland housing crash. King County housing crash. Rule of man is good. Hey guys, when you get a chance, watch Rule of Man. It's on my channel. It's called Rule of Man. It's actually a pretty good video. Then there's Sydney housing powder keg. Look at my face in this one. It's got 1,000 views. Look at this one. Yeah. Yeah, baby. I play a little bit of Magic on my channel. I open some Magic cards and stuff and keep the channel balanced, right? So I get subscribers from all walks of life subscribing to me. So it's not so conspiracy-driven channel, you know what I'm saying? Alright, guys. Police raid former NAB staffer Rosemary Rogers' home. So, it's a banking. So, let's read this. The home of former National Australian Bank Chief of Staff Rosemary Rogers has been raided by police in connection with procurement scam worth millions as a focus of the investigation of shifts from New South Wales, Victoria. The Australian Financial Review understands search warrants were executed at the Williamstown address. NAB Chief Executive Andrew Thurgood, former Chief Staff, on Wednesday morning. Mr. Rogers left the bank on December 2017 after being confronted with evidence that signed off on inflated payments to a contractor. So what they're saying, oh, how much is it going to cost to paint this wall? Ah, Senor Manuel, that wall's going to cost maybe $2 million to paint. And meanwhile, it costs $100, and then someone pockets $1.9980 million. Okay. So this is the house right here. I think it's a 1-bedroom. So raided this morning. Rosemary Rogers bought this $3.8 million. Holy crap! $3.8 million for that house? Woo! The payments became the focus of an investigation by New South Wales Police that accumulated the establishment of Strike Force Nelpathy series of raids across Sydney properties in April. Well, it sounds like the Strike Force, man. Victoria Police confirmed they assisted New South Wales Police to carry out the raid. New South Wales Police declined to comment on latest developments, saying that the Strike Force was ongoing. So they have a Strike Force team that's basically going out and raiding all these staffers from banking system in Australia. Interest rates rise, assets price fall, and cash is king again. So what is happening? There's rumors and rumors of interest rates going up in Australia. And it's not looking good because a lot of people, like that house here, what was that $500 million house? I just closed it. That $500 million house there for realistically worth 300 grand, but I'm not going to get into that, right? So. Okay, Kevin Thompson says magic cards are sweet. Lord Humongous says, Mike, I'm under contract after 45 days on the market, full asking price, all cash, non-Chinese buyer. Okay. Depot26 say, hi Mike, when is a good time to buy in the GTA? Stay away for now. Stay. You're gonna see prices decline in come springtime, in March, April. Stay away from that. You're not in a rush to get enslaved, believe me. So, Michael Galloway is saying Strike Force going for banks. So, guys, Kevin Thompson in the comment section has a condo for sale. If anyone's interested, Kevin Thompson will work on with you if you're looking. Steve the Plumber just checked into the comments. I'm going to go ahead and finish these articles here in Australia, and then we're going to open the lines for people to call in. Interest rates rise, asset prices fall, and cash is king again. In recent months, interest rates have been rising globally, exerting a downward gravitational pull on the value of price of most assets. It's the trend that's likely to play out for some time. So, guys, we've been talking about this for months now, of Australia wanting to raise rates. They need to raise rates. I don't know what they're going to do. Hobart's housing market will soften after a tremendous growth, but its future remains bright. So, where is Hobart? Hobart's in Tasmania. Hobart's a little island. Well, no, it's a pretty big island south of Australia, so it's like not connected to the mainland. It used to be a penal prison, I think, like 100 years ago. Now, what happened is everyone moved there because it was super cheap to live. So everyone left Sydney, Melbourne, and all those cities, and everyone, even people that are running away, even people that were running away from the law, people, with bad credits, a lot of deadbeats too. Hobart back in the 80s and 90s was like that kind of place to kind of take off and go undercover, right? Okay, Hobart's housing boom is over, according to Right President Tony Glow says the city's building shortage will ensure it will be a soft landing sector. So Hobart, guys, is nice, and it's still affordable. And the median house price there is still right here we go. 640 Hobart, the lowest on record. The median house price is $438,000, according to the ASB member 2018 residential property price index released yesterday. So $438,000 in comparison to $4 million for the same house in Sydney. I think there's a huge gap in pricing and affordability, and people could secure financing for $438,000 as opposed to $4 million bucks. So Hobart is slowing down, but I think prices should be in line. Australia's banknotes are disappearing into drug deals, the black market, and hoarders. Yes! Australia has 76 billion in banknotes outstanding. Somewhere in the economy, a detective work from the Reserve Bank has found 8% of the stash is tied up in criminal activity and drugs. Oh my God. Yeah, I could. Okay. Somebody was. Okay, we're here. I just got a comment right here. This is the most unprofessional economic channel I have ever seen. You are talking to an Australian housing market expert with no introduction as to who he is. You chug lemon water from the biggest container I've ever seen. Interrupt your expert by having a rant about Skype and constantly distracted and barely listening to him with your child running around the camera. Ridiculous. Your content is great, but you're severely shooting yourself in the foot with lack of structure and professionalism. If you wish to grow your channel, I strongly suggest focusing on those two things. 1, I can't read. 2, I can't read. I have no education, and I'm a Portuguese. And you know what the funny part is? I'm living a way better life than this guy ever will live in his whole life 10 times over. Woo! This guy should start his own channel. Techie12. I'm gonna pin this to the top, guys. I'm pinning this to the top. I have my kids, my beautiful kids. I have my house I own free and clear. I have no debt. I own my own game store. I play video games all day. So I pinned this to the top, guys. I'm gonna go to the video. Why don't you guys comment on it? It's the first pinned video here. I'm gonna leave it here. Yeah, I can hear you now. How are you? You have a problem with my daughter coming in the room? Here you go, guys. There it is. First comment pinned to the top by Techie12345. It must suck to live such a painful, depressing life. It's because I'm real, and that's what Lord Humongous is saying. Basically, Mike is real, not phony. Yeah, I should interview this guy to come on my show and tell me what professionalism is. What professionalism is. I bet you 100 to 1. This shirt, I think it's an Armand. I think it's an Armand. This shirt's probably worth more than everything that guy's wearing. And I'm not trying to boast or big. I don't go around talking this and that, and you know what I'm saying? I don't go around, but I'm very sure. You know, so before somebody wants to comment and trying to tell me how to critique my channel, you go start a channel. I have one in Portuguese too, and I have one in English, and they're doing 10 times better than a lot of these professionals could do. All right, let's keep going here. All right, CBA hit with another 335 million blow as fee for no service scandal widens and downsizing costs mount. Losers. Right now, if you're just tuning into what's happening in Australia, it's a big deal. The Royal Commission's been there, hovering over the banks and what they're doing on their bad books. Let me reread this for you guys so you guys can hear what I'm trying to say here. CBA hit with another $335 million blow as fee for no service scandal widens. So these banks are charging people for fees for no service. You know, if I pulled something like that off, I end up real quick in a heartbeat in a jail cell. But because it's a bank that's doing it, it's okay. So Steve's in the foreclosure house right now as we speak. Get him on the show when he gets a chance. 335 million, good. Oh, it should be 335 billion. No service scandal, downsizing costs amounts. Losers. Try pulling something like that. This is the top of the $270 million in compensation already paid by CBA to customers who were provided with poor quality advice or charged fees with no service was provided. With the scandals, remediation costs pitched $470 million, that equals to the average refund of almost $300,000 per advisor across the CBA's 1,600 strong network of financial planners. Losers. You guys, you know what? Take my advice. Become your own financial planner. Latest provision involving aligned financial advisors is an indication the fee for no service scandal was much wider than the first, and the bank may still have to go to the bottom of an issue as many advisors appear to have difficulty verifying what work they could actually did for their clients. You bunch of losers. Oh, what did you do for your clients? Oh, I don't know. We charge him like $7,000, but we got $7,000 from him. It's like I can picture these losers around the water cooler. oh, we just charged this dead guy like $4,000 again in fees this year. I wonder how many more years we could get money off this dead guy's account. Don't call his wife. Don't let his wife know he's got like $1 million on the side. She'll just take that money, and then we can't be charging those fees anymore. Losers. Coffee Dua says, Mike, what would you estimate your net worth as? Free. My net worth's free. I live my life. I have zero debt. I have zero dependence. I have zero... Well, I have my children and stuff, but I have zero support or something, whatever you want to call it. I'm free and clear. I'm free. That's what my net worth is. There's people that can make billions and zillions of dollars, and they'll still never be free. Never be free. I know a guy I spoke to the other day. He's in and around, his net worth's in and around $160 million, and he's not free. He's pissed off. He's always complaining, and he doesn't trust anybody. His family doesn't talk to him. So it's about reaching a certain level in life where you could say, I do what I want for work when I want. I go to sleep when I want. I spend time with my family when I want. And the only obligation I would say I have in my life is you guys and my family. Like, you guys, because I have a set schedule for my show. And I want to be here for you guys. I really want to make this show happen and be here for you guys and stuff like that, right? That's the only thing I'm on a schedule with. Everything else, I go to bed when I want. I wake up. If I don't feel like going to work, I just don't go. Coffee is saying, I graduated medical school soon in Australia, and I worry about even affording a basic house. The crisis is such a farce. Of course it is. What do you think I've been talking about the last friggin' 8 years now? It's going to go 9 years next summer. Like a broken record. It's getting worse, people. It's getting worse. Everything's a fraud. Your bank. Well, I think your barber. I think the barber is the only thing that's not a fraud right now. Hopefully the barber doesn't start defrauding people and cutting half their hair. Because your banking, your used car, your car insurance, your home insurance, your everything you have is like a lie on top of a lie on top of a lie. Someone's saying, Mike Martins, why didn't you ever finish school? Oh, no, I finished high school through some graduated system, working because my like I'm kind of like retarded, so my mentality is like I'm just not academic guy, so they put me in like mechanic work type of thingy for high school because I wasn't good at school, right? So plus I'm a Portuguese, right? So all right, where were we? Banks' opaque pricing stifles mortgage competition. Report released this morning found the opaque discretionary pricing of residential mortgages by banks stifles competition. The ACCCS Residential Mortgage Price Inquiry said the lack of transparency made it difficult and time-consuming for borrowers to shop around. And that's another problem too. They're making it, you are making the biggest decision of your life, buying a house. And then what? And what, you can't even shop around because they want to keep it such a big secret? You got Toronto, keeping it a big secret in the city of Toronto, Trebe. Oh, no one should know what a house sold for. Why? The report monitored the price charged by 5 banks affected by the government's major bank levy between 9 of May 2017 and June of 2018. It found unnecessary high Search costs or effort required by borrowers to find better prices reduce their willingness to shop around. But many borrowers who negotiate with their bank can get a much better price. So it's happening everywhere. Negative gearing changes could tip Australia into recession, says John Seamund. Okay, for people that are watching that are not from Australia, I need to explain to you what negative gearing is. This is very important, okay? Because this is weird. You know when you own your own business in the West, like America, Canada, and you have expenses when you have, I'm buying this pen for my, I bought this pen for my company, so I'm expensing this $1 pen against any tax I owe. In Australia, if you own a house, you could actually negative gear it where it's like a business, and any repairs or anything you do to it goes on your total tax revenue. So let's say you're making $100,000 a year, and you have to owe $30,000 at the end of the year in taxes. But if you have a house and you spend $30,000 a year in repairs, you don't owe any taxes. And that's on housing. That's crazy. No one else. No one else. No other country does this. So people that have housing and they're expensing it as a business, even though their real job is, let's say, a car salesman, but they own a house, any tax they owe, they expense it on their house as expenses. Why? But that's how it is in Australia. It's crazy. Now they want to scrap it because there's no point in having it. I see the point in having it. So you could shelter yourself. It's a tax shelter is what it is. And you got to treat negative gearing very carefully and do your homework to work out what the ramifications will be. So they're talking about scrapping it, but guys, this is a problem. This I don't even know how. Right here, for example, if you earn $100,000 annually and you pay a bit less than $25,000 per tax per year, you buy an investment property which earns $50,000 a year in rent. If your interest payments on that property are around $60,000 a year, you could deduct the difference of $10,000 on your taxable income. So you're treating your house as an expense, but you're using that expense to tax your total income. It is really weird because in other English-speaking countries, none of this happens. And this is a good thing for people that own multiple properties, like Kevin Thompson. He could set up this negative gearing, and all the tax he pays could go against what he makes and then kind of offset it a bit and not pay that much tax, right? This lady's happy to see negative gearing removed. So there's a lot of people in Australia that are trying to figure out this if this having negative gearing allows Mr. Truong Chin to save enough money a little bit quicker. So basically, he could save an extra $5,000 to $6,000 a year by renting out his house in Australia. Lord Humongous is saying negative gearing can be good in certain cycles. Negative, and then Daniel Martinelli says negative gearing sure helps prevent young families from happening. Yeah. Someone's saying, does the USA do this similar in Australia? No, the USA does not do this. The United States of America does not do negative gearing on housing. You're allowed to expense the interest on your mortgage on some states. In some states, you got your interest rate that you're paying, and some of it could be expensed. You could expense part of your mortgage expenses on your personal income tax. Canada, there's nothing like that. Canada, you pay straight up. You don't Canada, that's why Canada's very expensive. And housing is enough of a worry. Don't scare us with warnings of raising interest rates. So, interest rates are going to be going up, people. Here, let me take a swing of my jug of lemon water here. Oh, someone sent me a Christmas card. My godmother. Who still sends out Christmas cards, people? Anybody out there still sending out Christmas cards? Anybody? I received a few of them this week. Alright, I can't get this damn thing open. But it's from my godmother, so I will have to cut that open. Oh. Interest rates need to go up in Australia. To the surprise of the latest residential house prices data released by the Bureau of Statistics this week showed that house prices across the nation fell 1.9% on average the past 12 months. It continues to continue worries that prices will keep falling and wreak havoc on our economy. Okay, one, stop taking your houses and base it off your economy. Stop pegging housing as the backbone of your economy is what I wanted to say. Housing is just something you buy, appreciates, you raise your family, you lay roots. They're treating housing like stock market now. Okay, 1.9% on average the past 12 months. It continued worries that prices will keep falling. Record economy. Okay, given the falls of the housing finance, the latest data shows the drop in house prices was expected and is likely to continue for time to come. So there's house financings going down. People are having a really tough time securing financing, and house prices keep going down. The falls were driven by Sydney and Melbourne, as prices in Brisbane, Adelaide, and Hobart, Canberra are actually rising. Cheaper cities, everyone leaving the more expensive cities to cheaper cities. And while Darwin's prices dropped 4.4% over the last year, the size of its market means that it has little impact on the national average. Here you go. There's another graph here depicting what's going on. And we're hitting back to 2011 numbers again here. This is somewhat concerning, but it should be noted that this related only to the seasonally adjusted figures, which can be a tad erratic. In trend terms, secondary job only accounted for 23% of new jobs, but even still, that is a large amount, given just below 7% of all houses are secondary ones. So here it is, secondary job, main job. Wow. Everyone's picking up the extra job here, annual job growth. Percent of jobs that are secondary jobs, here it is. This is seasonally adjusted. There's the trend right there, pushing around just close to 6.5%, 6.6% there, 7%, what was it here? 6.8. So a lot of people picking up that second job to pay off that second mortgage. And there's your standard variable rate home loan rate path to 10%. There it is there. So home loan rates looks like they're obviously increasing, right? This is in 3 years and 5 years. So a lot of these mortgages are going to be coming up to fruition here. It looks like at the end of 2020 here, according to this. And a lot of them are coming up right here. The 3-year mortgages are coming up in 2021. This one's 2023. So mortgages will be coming up for renewal very soon in the next quarter of 2019 in Australia. And Sydney monthly mortgage repayments for medium price houses, 12 months, the 30-year loan, 20% deposit value, average discount mortgage rates. There it is here. And this is one to look out for right here. So these are people that bought here. So when the people bought at the best time, and it's pretty much at the same level, but people that bought in some of these eras, different times, especially a lot of people mistiming the market. Oh, and those stupid television shows in Australia. Stupid television shows. Horrible television shows. Oh, let's see if we can secure this deal. We're buying a bungalow, a 2-bedroom, 1-bath here in Sydney for $4 million. Let's see if this young couple could afford it. Oh, you're going to be making payments for the next 700 years. A low payment of $4,000 a month. It's like people are so like, what are you doing? Income spent on mortgage repayments of medium Sydney house price. I don't think a lot of these will be accurate because there's interest-only mortgages. A lot of them floating around right now. So be really careful with a lot of these graphs. Another rise bites the dust. Now, the NAB has scrapped its call for the RBA rate hike in 2019. So, the National Australian Bank has abandoned its call for the RBA rate hikes next year. So, it looks like they're not going to be raising their overnight cash rate. It's not going to be moving up. Weak wage and inflationary pressures, along with recent steeper falls in Sydney and Melbourne home prices, were the main factors behind the change of heart. The vast majority of mainstream forecasters don't see the RBA lifting its crash rate until 2020 at the earliest. Some are now starting to forecast cuts, not hikes. So if they do rate cuts, man, I think the Australian dollar is going to take a bashing, man. Australia is going to take a bashing if they don't raise rates. The dollar and then exports are going to look not so attractive, and it's going to look bad. It's horrible. Things are going to get horrible. I don't even know what to say anymore because the things are so bad. Anyways, let's turn on... Where's Steve the plumber? We need to get Steve the plumber on here. We need Steve the plumber. Very important to get him on the thing. Again, let's see, going up. Yeah, Steve the plumber is talking there with Peter's calling in here. I don't know why my computer has Skype. I don't have Skype on my computer, but it's calling. So I'm just turning on the phone right now. Skype. Let's see what Peter. Peter, are you available, or is Steve available? Steve, are you still driving? Okay, Steve's gonna call in 5 minutes. Sean Bowen has a really good question. Where are the housing and jobs for millions of migrants? That's another topic we'll do on Mike in the Night. We need to find out what the heck is going on with this, because this is a big problem and I don't see things getting any better. Let's see if I can get Peter on the line here real quick and see what he's got to say. We tried getting him on the show on Saturday, but we're having a lot of Skype issues, so let me call him.
Hello.
Peter.
Michael.
How are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Really?
I'm joking. No, I can't hear you.
Okay.
I can't hear you. I am just joking. Anyways, what do you got for us? So, Australia, Bank of Australia, this is bad. They're not going to raise rates. This is really bad on an economic cycle. What are they doing? Peter? Peter, you there? Peter? I keep losing Peter. What the heck is going on? Okay, let me call him here. Something's wrong. I don't know why I can't connect to Peter. Peter, you there? Petey? Man, this happened on Saturday. It was the same thing. That is so weird. But then I call somebody else and it works. Because we had Brooke on the show. We had... Okay, let me close all my applications on the phone. I don't even have any applications open. Let me reopen my Skype again. Hold on a sec. All right. Let's try this again. Man, I feel bad because I need Peter on the show. I can't have him. I think he needs to get a new Skype phone. Peter, you there? There's no answer. Peter, are you there, buddy? There's no audio. I could see you. Yeah, I could see him perfect, clear as day. But there's no audio. I could see somebody behind you. What is that, a dog? I can't see. I could barely see somebody behind you there. But no, I can't hear you. So he's on the phone, but I can't hear him. I don't know why. Pete, if you could hear me. Oh, it's your daughter. Pete, if you could hear me. Just getting you Skype account. So if you could hear me, I can't hear you. So getting you Skype account, just doing you one right now. Something's wrong because there's no way I can't hear you. I could see you, but everybody else I could hear. So getting you Skype account or something and try calling me back because I can't hear you. So we have problems with the audio with Peter. I'm not sure why. Yeah, okay, so there is a massive problem with the phone. Let me see if I can get Steve the plumber on. He said he's going to call me. He says yeah, no, I have him on speakerphone, dude. I've been pushing speaker on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Someone's saying, I spoke with a friend over Skype today and it worked fine. Maybe it's just the Mike Martin's channel. It's what it is. It's the Mike Martin's channel is like being like kind of shut down in a way where people don't want some undereducated guy talking about housing. But, you know, hey, it wouldn't be surprising if that was the case. Believe me, it wouldn't be surprising. Okay, guys, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let's see where Steve the plumber is. Let's get him on the phone here. Something. Peter, getting you Skype. Getting you Skype. Yo, Stevie, what's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Nada. Where are you? You said you were at a foreclosure house.
I am. I'm actually literally just getting in the door. I'm going to bring you back from a landline in 30 seconds.
Okay, call me back.
Yeah, give me 30 seconds. Bye.
Bye. Okay, that's Steve. He's going to call me back. He just walked in the door. He was over at a foreclosure house, guys. Foreclosure houses are going to be a common thing. But in Canada, they're not listed like they are in the U.S. You see, in the... Wow. Wow. Oh, my God. So, my godmother mails me a letter. It comes in the mail. There's the stamp there. And then, it was like $100 in it. It's like, why would you mail me $100 for? Merry Christmas. All the best of the new year. Love, Carmina and Dave. Andrew and Bradley. Wow. I'm going to have to call her tomorrow and thank her for that. I just thought it was just a Christmas card to put on my tree. Wow. Someone sent me $100. My godmother sent me $100. Anyways. Yeah, Peter. Getting you Skype because I need you on the show Saturday. I can't have you cut off. Because my Skype works because I spoke to working on it the other day. I spoke to Evan yesterday. When did I speak to Evan? Evan, when did we talk? Monday night, right? It worked fine. Then I spoke to Stephen Thomas the other day from Melbourne. And then I talked to Buddy in Sydney the other day. So, I'm not sure why. And then I spoke to Derek in San Jose. So, guys, remember... Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, support the cause. You don't even have to ring the bell. Just Support the channel. I'm at 6,875 subs. I'm not like PewDiePie, you know. PewDiePie's got like 1,000 subs a minute. You know, I don't know what that channel does. I saw it for a few minutes. I'm like, okay, this is kind of not my thing. You know, I do my thing. I don't mirror other channels. I don't give a damn what other people are doing. If people want to hang out with me and want to hang out with us, that's great. Hang out. We'll talk. You know, do our thing. You know, just, you know, keeping up with the times, you know? Hanging out with Mike Martins. Okay, Steve the Plumber's calling. Look at this, guys. This is a Reese Big Cup Grand Module. Is that French or something? Grand Moule. Does anyone even speak French anymore? Alright, Steve, where the hell are you? We need to see... Living the Dream is saying, Mike, great to see you're having more and more viewers every show. You know what? People come and watch if they want. We're all hanging out here. Everybody's on the show. Everybody. Who's that? Kevin Thompson's here. Daniel Martellini. Low Roller Scratcher. Mr. E. Steve the Plumber. We're all on the show. Everybody's here. Who the hell is this?
Steve.
What's up, buddy?
Crazy night, buddy. Crazy night.
Okay. Fill us in. What the hell's going on?
Yeah. Had to do a securement. You there, Bob?
I'm listening to every word you're saying.
Yeah, I know we had another one tonight, and they trashed the place. It was pretty bad.
What was it, like bums living there? Like, what was it?
No. It was just your average people that have basically lost everything, right? So they were pretty vindictive about it. I don't know the whole story, but they caused a lot of damage.
Oh, I see what happened. They're being foreclosed on. I thought it was renters leaving a place and they trashed the property. No. Okay, you're talking about homeowners are being foreclosed on this specific house, and they were very mad about it. Did they steal the copper piping?
No, that they sure as hell damaged the furnace, so that's not very good.
Why? That's dangerous. They could blow something up if they're playing around with the furnace, and then they'll sue the gas company and win.
This was flat out malicious, so.
Okay, so what's going on, Steve? Are you seeing a lot of these foreclosures, or are you attending a lot of these foreclosure houses to shut them? What are you doing? Are you shutting these homes down, or what are you doing? Or getting them ready for auction, or what?
No. It's merely going winterize and basically confirm that the primary heat source within the house is up to snuff and in good working order.
Okay. And how many of these houses? How many houses of these a week are you seeing?
Right now we're doing about 3. This week it'll be 4 from what it appears. Yeah, and this right in the GTA.
3 a week. That's like 100.
Yeah.
That's like 150 something houses a year.
Yeah, it's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's definitely for this contact that I have in terms of this client that works as a third party to a bank or a lender for that fact. He's usually doing about 3 a month, and that was busy for him. So his business has basically gone up, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah, and not all of them end badly, Mike. I have to admit. Sometimes.
But Steve, like, I'm not gonna say that's a lot of houses, dude. 3 a week is a lot of houses, dude. I wasn't saying it wasn't a lot. That's a lot of people losing their shirts.
That's true, but keep in mind when the bank moves in to secure their position, they don't automatically go. That there is a redemption period that the homeowner has in order to make good on it.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't just say no. Like they have to give them an opportunity to make good on it and naturally pay all the fees associated with the lawyers and us going in and doing what we need to do. But that's only 10% from what I've been told.
But that's still a lot of that's still quite a bit, Steve.
Yeah, 90% of these securements basically are go into full power sale situation.
But here's the problem, Steve. What I noticed in the here's the problem. In the U.S., when they have foreclosure sales, they sell houses for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a house. And then they have foreclosure sales websites that you can go to and you can buy a house on your credit card. But how come in Canada they make it such a big secret when a house gets foreclosed on? How come they don't send it to auction, or how come they don't just lowball it like they do in the U.S.? Why do they do it in Canada where, oh no, you're not allowed to buy a house for $50,000? Why is it such, like in the U.S., Steve, I could show you 2 foreclosure websites I'm part of. I could get you a place down in Arizona that's being foreclosed on for like $22,000.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but at the same point in time, I'm not sure of all the underwriting laws in the U.S., but I know if you walk away, they can't come after you in the U.S.
Right, but we're talking about a $20,000 house, Steve. We're not talking about $2 million house in Toronto, right? So
no, I understand that, but
yeah.
that's not the the case within Canada. They can actually come back and come after you under civil law and procedure.
Interesting. So, do you see this escalating even worse than where it's at right now, buddy?
I do see it increasing because we're not seeing mass layoffs in terms of big corporations laying off 100, 200 people on a weekly basis. But I am hearing more and more about layoffs of these companies that they're going down from a staff of 120, and they've cut 35 jobs. So I'm hearing a lot of that happening, especially over social media, including YouTube. So it is increasing. But at the same point in time, do I have actual figures in front of me? No. But all signs point that we will see an increase of people just not being able to stay above water as unemployment gets worse. Now, all of a sudden, we magically, had a great jobs report. But like I said, a lot of those numbers have a direct result or correlation to, the holiday season.
Exactly, but they went into specification in that article, and I read it, and it said a lot of this is not seasonal Christmas jobs. It's a lot to do with the up-and-coming full-time jobs, and the great Canadian economy is thriving.
Well, there's that too. I also heard today on BNN there was on their website from Rate Hub, there was one of the founders on there, and he actually came out, and believe it or not, they're anticipating that the banks over the next 1 to 2 weeks will continue to make some profit, and then they're going to have to do a rate cut on the 5-year fixed rate because bonds are so low.
Okay, say that again, just one more time. They're going to do a 5-year. They're going to reduce the 5-year rate.
Yes, that's exactly what was on BNN today. You can go to the article, play the video, do whatever you want to do. They're actually anticipating banks will hold out for another 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then what happens is one of them does it and lowers their 5-year fixed rate, and then obviously all of them follow suit.
Okay, because you know what's going to happen right now. Australia, they haven't raised rates in a million years, and they're thinking of even cutting rates even more.
Right, now, no way, under no way, shape, or form am am I saying that this is any type of sort of quantitative easing or injecting stimulus or anything else like that. The 5-year fixed rate is directly tied to bond yields. And right now, bond yields suck.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, of course. Well, because interest rates are looking like they're on the fence right now. And bond yields are obviously going to take a hit, right?
Naturally, and it also has to do with other things as well.
And jobs, economy, forecasted quarterly earnings, exports, all that crap, the GDP and all that stuff plays a huge part in it. But still, I mean, if they lower rates, they're just going to continue this fiasco, free money fiasco. It's going to continue for another couple of more years until what? The average house goes to what? $7 million?
I don't know, Mike. I don't have a crystal ball. All I can see is what I see on the street from my own customers, from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They just don't have any money. They really don't.
And yeah, well, middle class is disappearing. Working poor. It's called working poor. There's no middle class. It's working poor. So.
Absolutely. And I'm just in the comment section. Kevin, you need to chill the hell out, buddy. I'm not giving real estate advice at all. I am not qualified to do that. All I'm doing is answering questions in terms of what I'm seeing on the street.
Yeah.
So
Steve,
you need to
can you read?
Need to relax.
Steve, can you read?
I can.
You can?
I can. I absolutely can.
Oh, because
I hope I can.
I can't read, so I hope people aren't taking advice from me either. We're just talking about what's happening. That's all we're doing here.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. I'm actually interested to know in the comment section, Trevor Snoops, he said something about being in Pickering and being in 2 in Pickering. I'm not sure. He may actually be involved with some foreclosures or whatnot. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm drawing the wrong inference here, but Trevor, if you can speak up, then I'd love to hear what you have to say. But in any event, yeah. So that's basically what I'm seeing on the street, Mike. Is it getting terribly worse? No, I can't say that it's getting terribly worse because I've just started to deal with this new guy here, and I don't mind because it's quick, easy money, and it's very good money. The banks pay particularly well to go out and make sure that everything's okay from a mechanical standpoint. That said, who knows what 2019 has in store, but I can pretty much guarantee my intuition's telling me that we're going to see some dark days in 2019.
Definitely. 2019, I see Q1. I see spring 2019 being an absolute disaster. I see a lot of real estate agents ramping up the whole spring thing. Spring market, spring is in the air, buyer's market, come out and buy. It's going to be exactly like Australia. Australia is going through their spring right now, and it's flat as a board.
Yeah. Did you go through some of the better dwelling articles as of today?
Yeah, of course I did. I read them all this morning. I read them all at the beginning of the show.
Okay, yeah, no, I wasn't on in the beginning of the show, so.
I started off with Canada. We went over all the better dwelling articles and all the updates, and how there's a lot of inventories rising, and a lot of people aren't securing any financing. And I think the banks are going to have to figure something out, because once you can't secure financing, now that the capital flows from China are pretty much shut off, and now with this whole Hawaii cell phone thing with this lady in jail in Vancouver, it's going to make relations between Canada and China even worse. So, yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen with that. So,
the Terranet National Bank, I agree with you. The Terranet National Bank numbers are out, and only 3 small Canadian real estate markets see price rises, and Toronto wasn't one of them.
No, Toronto was down, Vancouver was down, Montreal was up there. Montreal is only up there because there's no foreign buyers tax, and it's kind of like the Wild West out there still.
Right.
And that's why Montreal's seeing record numbers of bidding wars.
Right. Okay.
So Montreal's has been seeing bidding wars, and they've never seen bidding wars ever. And neither has Toronto until Vancouver put the foreign buyers tax on. Once Vancouver threw that foreign buyers tax on, everybody ran east to Toronto, and the other half went to Seattle.
Wow. Okay.
So
interesting.
that's 20 months ago.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. I did actually speak to he's a client or an ex-client. We did some work for him. He's a part-time real estate agent. That's only because he's been doing real estate for over 40 years.
Wow.
And we had to go and finish off a couple of things yesterday, and at his place, and I picked his brain for about 5 minutes, and it turned into a 20-minute conversation. And he basically came flat out and said, if you buy anything before Q2 of 2019, you will lose miserably.
Yeah, for sure. I bet you 100 to 1 he's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay, hold on a sec. Kevin Thompson, you need to relax, buddy, because you are blowing up the comments. Kevin Thompson, I'm going to ask you to cease fire. Please. Kevin Thompson, I'm asking you to cease fire, okay? Because every time Steve comes on the phone, he starts freaking out. And I want to enjoy these peanut butter filled Rolos, okay? Go ahead, Steve. What's going on?
yeah, just out of curiosity, on that note, why is Kevin Thompson a moderator?
Well, because everyone kept banning him, and he kept crying and getting upset. And I said, look, Kevin, calm down, buddy. Relax. You know what I'm saying? We need antagonism in the show. We need people who are obviously understanding what's happening in our markets, where things are going in our markets, and then we need people that are against what we're saying, and people against, and basically calling us out and basically challenging our points of views, right?
Yeah, like ever since he got that moderator privilege, like Jesus, he went from like first date to ex-wife in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, now he's apologizing, he's saying he's sorry. So he needs to retard his anger, he needs to calm down, because he needs to understand, like, I need people who are pro-Hillary on this thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I need pro-Hillary supporters on this, so it's not a one-sided Fox News. I need a little bit of everything on here, you know?
absolutely, but I think Kevin Thompson needs to call into the show tonight, or his moderator privileges are going to be stripped.
Yeah, we need... See, Kevin Thompson's an important asset to this. We need to know why prices are going to keep going up. We need to know why things are happening the way they are. We need Kevin Thompson, you know what I'm saying? We need him. He's the guy who's basically against everything. He's the one who's basically, you know, going against the water here. He's going against the current, right?
I understand completely what you're saying, and I totally agree, but I still think Kevin Thompson should call in. And at the same point in time, Kevin Thompson, if you want to use your voice change over and make you sound like a woman, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, we could do that. Why don't you go drop by his house and have a cookie?
I offered to do that, but he said he was going to crack my skull open.
What would you do that for?
I don't know. Apparently it gets very, very violent. I'm not sure. I mean, I'd love to see Kevin Thompson try to crack my head open, but anyhow.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But that said, we're getting off topic here. We're moving onwards and upwards here, Mike.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
What else did you want to talk about or ask me?
Where do you see... I wanted to ask you this deal. So, are things... You know, Steve, I just can't fathom how somebody would pay $600,000 for a condo in Toronto. I can't fathom how people would pay $1 million for a detached bungalow. Like, are these people asleep? Like, what? Do they honestly, like, do they think they don't have to pay this money back if the market crashes? Like, what is the education level of some of these people that you've seen and heard at the bank and stuff? Not education as in, are they book smart? I'm talking about, are these people properly, do they understand what they're signing, is what I'm asking. A lot of these people are heavily educated people. Why the hell are they signing these contracts for when they know they can't pay them off? Is everyone just trusting their bank too much?
No, it's a situation where everybody's doing what everybody else is doing. And people are going to work, and they're doing the 9 to 5 grind, or, you know, much longer hours than that for a set salary. And they're going to work, and they're coming home, and it's very repetitive. Mm-hmm. And as they feel as though as long as they have a job, they're going to be okay. And the bank says that they can qualify for X amount of dollars. Mm-hmm. So they're going to go and buy that condo for $500,000-$600,000, maybe $700,000, depending on where it is in the Greater Toronto or Greater Vancouver area. And they're on the basis of, well, everybody else is doing it, and, you know, banks are too big to fail. The market isn't going to go down. Whether it's Kevin Thompson saying that, or organized real estate, or Michael Smith saying that, it really doesn't matter. It's this, you know, this false sense of security, and everybody's just there. They're like robots, if you will. And then you also have to realize a lot of people were on the, you know, bought on the basis of, you know, the fear of missing out, FOMO, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a big factor in all of this. Okay. But I see condos dropping in value in 2019.
They have to. The average person could only afford $310,000 with the way the wages are in taxes. A person making 81, remember we did the payment calculation for that $650,000 townhouse in Port Coquitlam? We did this live calculation together. You need to make $180,000 a year and put down $150,000 to buy a $650,000 or $675,000 townhouse. With the new stress testing, it's not going to work.
And that's what we're seeing. And that's why Mattamy Homes is lobbying to say, oh, enough's enough, remove the stress testing, you know, you're hurting first-time buyers, so on and so forth. No, the stress test it was put into place, and it was designed to do a couple of things. And I'm not going to get into it because everybody knows what it was designed to do. And it's actually having the proper effect on the market. And I'm really sorry that Mattamy Homes is the largest builder in North America, or in Canada, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I know they are in the States as well. I'm not sure how their Florida venture is going to do, considering the arse end of Florida is falling out faster than, you know. Anyways, without digressing, you know, the stress testing is hurting all builders right now because they can't sell their inventory unless people can qualify. And every single builder that I've talked to has all realigned their expectations and what they're going to be building moving forward. And it sure as hell isn't detached houses.
Wow. Yeah, that's for sure. I have Mattamy Homes opened here for news. There's an article from 2 days ago. Mattamy Homes is recognized as one of greatest Toronto's top employers. So what's going to happen if the construction sector falls? Uh-oh.
Well, the construction sector's already fallen.
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of people have been laid off and will continue to be laid off within the construction sector and trades and whatnot, especially with respect to new home construction. But that said, we also have to take into consideration what people can actually afford. And right now, not very many people can afford anything more than $700,000.
Okay. Of course. Okay, so I got an article that was here from December 3rd. I actually wanted to read it on the channel. I want you to hear this headline, okay? Ready for this? Canada has achieved a housing soft landing, biggest builder says.
Mike, do you know what's wrong with that statement?
Tell me.
In the history of real estate, there has never, ever been a soft landing. Actually, I'll correct myself. It is possible that Japan has experienced a soft landing, and they've been experiencing that soft landing for the past 25 years. But continue. But then again, I know nothing about real estate as per Kevin Thompson.
Right. So, Kevin Thompson, you guys, everybody need to... I just made OPA Canada a moderator on here. Guys, there's free speech on this channel. I'm not blocking anyone from talking. Everyone calm down in the comment section, please. Everyone calm down.
Actually, OPA Canada, I had some conversation with him on live chat. I think it was last week or the week before. He's not bad. He's got his primary residence. He's got to live somewhere. I get it. And I'm sure he didn't just buy into the game. And at the same point in time, he's looking to buy another property. But he knows buying another property right now is the dumbest thing that he could do. And he's going to wait because all signs point in 2019, 2020, he's going to get a good deal.
Yeah, if he waits, everyone needs to wait, right? See, the reason why I haven't moved on real estate yet, the reason why I haven't bought because I want to buy a building, like a commercial building in town for my store. Like, I want to have my store, I want to own my own building, probably have an apartment upstairs in the downtown, like right in the downtown Little Merritt core, have a store, and then upstairs have an apartment, just kind of like a little pad up there type of thing. And I haven't bought anything yet, Steve, even though prices are record low here, because I know they're going to still go down. So here we go. Canada has avoided the kind of housing crashes that has been bedeviled countries for decades. Thanks to the government regulations, Justin Trudeau has tamed soaring house prices, according to the largest closely held home builder in North America. We're right. In the midst of the soft landing, we can thank Justin Trudeau. Certainly something that we've predicted and actually helped influence. So he helped influence the soft crash here, according to this.
Sure.
The Canadian business will roll out more controlled base. So here's the problem. I don't think houses could go any higher than they are. The first article I read from Better Dwelling about how Vancouver houses, the average median price of a Vancouver house in 2016 was $3.4 million for a bungalow. Now it's down to $2.1 million. So it's lost a lot of ground in the last 2 years, Steve.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
So are you trying to tell me nobody bought in those 2 years and took a loss? I don't think so. People bought in that time.
They absolutely did. And you know what? More people bought than they should have. And the problem is, they not only bought at the wrong time, but if they bought in that time where stress testing was in place, so on and so forth, they wouldn't have been able to overspend.
Right.
That's the kryptonite.
Right. Exactly.
It's hard to catch a falling knife, and I don't want to pick on him or anything else like that because he's probably a decent guy. But Open Canada, in other words, he wants to buy a property. And he's thinking about, he's holding off. He's going to buy in 2020, and that's great. And you know what? It's not like he's trying to, catch a falling knife, per se, but at the same point in time, he's going to be stress tested, all right? And, the stress test will naturally and currently is having its effect for the good with respect to real estate as a whole in Canada. But I guess what I'm trying to say is when he goes to buy, and, don't take this the wrong way, Opa, but like when he goes to buy that house in 2020, he's going to buy a house at fair market value, for example, probably get an even better, get a really good deal compared to what today's prices are, especially from where things were at in 2017. And he's actually going to be able to qualify for it underneath the stress testing rules. And he's not going to lose the shirt because he's not. The banks are preventing him from overspending.
Which is a good thing, because they should have started this friggin' 100 years ago. They should have done this since the time of Moses. Why are they protecting the customers now that everyone's getting burnt?
Yes. So the damage is done, and as we see the Bank of Canada float with interest rates decisions and everything else, and we see the oil problems that we're experiencing, and the tariffs, and the trade, relations going, up and down like crazy. Everything's kind of sort of balancing itself out. And it's almost like it's camouflaging what's actually going on right now. In my opinion, that is.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's trying to blend in, I guess. Blend in. And try to, I guess... I think what the banks are going to try to do is they're going to try and offset and put some good deals on the books to offset for the bad ones that are going to be falling off in the next quarter and the next 2 quarters and 3 and 4 quarters from now. I think that's what the bank wants to do. They want to hedge with good deals, good down payments, good stress testing, good background check, good employment history. They want those good ones on the books going forward to hedge against all the losses they're going to be taking in the next couple of quarters. What do you think?
Oh, I agree with that statement 150%. And furthermore to that, I think the bank has a good idea of what type of shit they're in for. And in actual fact, I know for a fact that I've spoken to some people within the bank, and I've probably mentioned it on your show. They know exactly how many mortgages are actually going to fail in 2019. They have a very good indication of how many mortgages will fail, how many mortgages will actually not be able to be renewed for an actual fixed term of 5 years. They'll have to renew for 3 months, 6 months, a year until people pay down debt or find alternative lending, because they can't just call all of these mortgages. They can call all the HELOCs they want, because it is very much a demand loan, despite being tied directly to your equity in your house. But banks are continuously downgrading what houses are actually worth by way of appraisal.
Okay, I got something I want to add here. Peter's brought up a really good point here. Maybe the UN Migration Pact will flood millions of immigrants into Canada and lift the housing market further. But do you think that these people coming in will come in with a couple of $1 million a piece? Or some of them will?
Absolutely not. You can call me a racist right now. I would say 3/4 of all those people coming in are coming in to live off the Canadian taxpayer. And anybody in the comment section that wants to argue that with me, come up with a valid reason why that's not the case. Because they're coming in here for a free ride to live off of our generous part-time drama teacher, unqualified prime minister, and all of our tax dollars. That's exactly what's happening. They look at it. They look at it as nothing but a free ride. You can call me a racist, do whatever you want. I don't care how many libertarians are in the comments section. Call me a racist. If that makes me a racist, then I'm proud to be a racist.
Are there any Hillary supporters in the comment section here? Because I think she's going to prison. But anyways, I'm not going off topic. We'll save that for Mike in the Night. Yeah, there's lots going on, guys. There's lots going on in Canada. And did you see that video I made about that thing with Justin Trudeau saying that Canada's leading the way and Canada helped put this whole migration pact together, and they're the ones that invented it, and Canadians should be proud of this? How does that make you feel, Steve?
Makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it looks like Australia's cutting back on migration too. Australia's, according to Peter, he's saying that Australia's cutting back on immigration and migration hard. So, is it too little, too late for Australia? Time will tell. But I think our Canada, what's happening with, I think we're in decline with population, and they got to fill it because Canadians aren't having kids anymore. So they got to fill.
Mike,
yeah.
How about this? If we weren't taxed to death, you know what? You and I would have a grand old time having a bunch of orgasms and creating a whole bunch of kids because we'd be able to afford them.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Oh, Witch on Wheels in the comment section. First time in your live streams. Woohoo! Where you from, Witch? Witch on Wheels. Where you from? New Zealand? Or UK? All right. So, yeah, we should get a channel poll going on is Hillary Clinton going to prison? Hey, I heard she was in your town in Toronto. She had like 300 people at the Rogers Arena there.
I didn't even hear that.
Oh, of course you didn't. Just type in Hillary Clinton. And you know what she was talking about? You know what one of her main topics was? Affordable housing in the West. She was in Toronto. Here. Hillary Clinton, empty stadium in Toronto. Okay, sorry, it was 83% empty.
83% empty?
Yeah, I got a picture up right now for everyone to see. The stadium is completely empty. Like, there's nobody there. I think it was at the Rogers Arena. So she was discussing affordable housing in the West. What she was talking about migration and bringing in more skilled people to help lift the country out of this to lift Canada out of this recession it's going through, you know. So if for people watching and people listening to this on podcasts or driving or have this playing in the background, it's an empty stadium. The top end of the stadium is completely empty, and then there's about maybe 90 people in the lower bowl. And yeah, and that stadium holds about 18,000 people. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up actually. So Steve, what else is going on, buddy? What can you tell us, man? What can you forecast from us? Q1 2019. Do you see the poop hitting the fan, or do you see more in the summertime?
I see Q1 being. I think everybody will come to the realization that by the end of Q1, this is actually happening. This is it. House prices are going to come back down to reality. And when I say reality, I'm not saying they're going to crash, but what I'm saying is they're probably going to come down another 15 to 20% guaranteed. And I'm really hoping that it's, 15 to 20%, a year, so to speak, or, maybe 25% between now and 2020. But I think people need to realize that a house is only worth what someone can qualify for. And I've said that before, and I'll say it again time and time. If you can't get a mortgage, you can't qualify for $1 million property, and it's a detached house. And all your buddies and everybody else can't qualify for that. You know what? Guess what? That house isn't worth $1 million anymore.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing, Steve, what a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people don't talk about how if you do sell your house for $1 million, you have to buy it back in the same market. It's not like you're taking that $1 million and going to Sao Paulo with it or Rio de Janeiro with that $1 million. You're buying back in the same market.
Okay, fair enough.
I made $1 million. I sold my house for $1 million. Merry Christmas. You have to buy back in the same, unless, like I said, you go to Thailand or something with that $1 million. It's different. But people aren't doing that. Oh, I sold my house for $1 million. Good, you got to buy one back for $2 now.
I understand where you're coming from, but let's take 2 steps migrants that are coming in there, so on and so forth. I'd love for somebody in organized real estate to go ahead and tell me how a migrant worker, let's say they're hardworking, they want to come here for a chance, and they're going to be hardworking, so on and so forth, and they're qualified to do absolutely nothing. Okay? They come here, we got to educate them, we got to do this, we got to do that, so on and so forth. They're going to put a strain on the system for the first 5 years that they're here. Okay? The first 5 years that they're here. Then all of a sudden they're going to start working and hunkering down, so on and so forth, and, you know, they need a place to live, and they can only rent for so long, and now all of a sudden they want to buy a house. They're not buying million-dollar homes, Mike.
Okay. So that's kind of scary because why is one end of Canada, like if you go over to the Vancouver side of Canada or BC side of Canada, Canada's pumping in more wealthy Chinese immigrants and fast tracking their citizenship so they can move their money offshore into Canada. But on the other side of Canada, they're bringing in more migrants from other parts of the world. It doesn't make any sense, Steve. Are they trying to find a middle ground with bringing in the wealthy Chinese? Because the wealthy Chinese investors is a very lucrative business for Canada, and that's what they're looking for. And I've read the article a million times for you guys. Canada wants more Chinese, and they're forecasting 750,000 per year now. So. But then, what about the migrants? Like, what are they trying to find a balance, bringing in the wealthy and bringing in people from other countries? What are they trying to do here, Steve? What's the deal?
Beside it being politically, agenda or politically driven, because I don't know about you, but if we took a poll out of the 69 people, okay, well, 68, I'm not going to factor in myself, that are listening to this live chat. I'd love for everybody to tell me who they're voting for in October 2019. I'd love to see how many people in the chat are going to say they're voting for Trudeau. And this is being serious. Don't say you're going to vote for Trudeau just to throw it up. From the heart, we have no idea who the heck you are. I'd love to know who is going to actually vote for Trudeau in 2019. Because at the end of the day, I'm almost positive that over 80% of the people, if they are in Canada, they would not vote for Trudeau. He's got to get votes from somewhere.
Steve, I need to ask you a question. Have you bought your yellow jacket yet, or your yellow vest?
I have two in my truck at all times.
For emergency purposes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I may or may not have multiple sharp objects in my truck as well.
So the yellow jacket thing is an uprise. We're going to do that on Mike in the Night. We're going to be talking about the yellow jacket movement in Canada, yellow vest movement in Canada, Mike in the Night. We're also going to be discussing, going to get Peter on the show from Sydney. He's going to give us a little bit of updates on what's happening in France and with the civil war that's going on. And then we'll probably have Evan on the show too, if he could make it. Whoever could make it on the show, make it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I enjoy Mike in the Night. It's great. I really think, I'm not trying to kill a dead horse, but I think Kevin Thompson should call in.
Yeah, I think Kevin Thompson should call in because it's crucial. You know what I'm saying? And I know he donated a little bit to the Hillary campaign last year. 2 years ago, sorry. So...
He gave 50% of his HELOC, man.
Yeah. See, here we go. We got an opposition here. See, Mike is not right. There you go. We need more opposition on here, but we need good constructive criticism. Like, Alex, why am I not right? What am I not right about? I know I'm not right. I'm a human being. I don't know anything. But all I know is what I'm seeing around me. So, see, we need more opposition on this channel because we need the current to flow both ways. So that maybe we could wake up to maybe why half this crap is happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. But all in all, I think we're in for, as a final thought, Mike, and I'll let you go. I think we're in for some really dark days in 2019. People are going to finally realize that things are not what they are. I think we will be in the full swing of a recession. We'll have some data to support a recession by the end of Q1, maybe end of Q2. So right away, that'll slow things down even further. And in terms of the overnight lending rate from the Bank of Canada, geez, I don't think we'll be able to handle any more than another 2 rate hikes, because I think he may have to give 1 or 2 of them back. I can't see past 2.5%.
Okay, so what you're trying to say to me is to buy more U.S. currency.
At this point, the greenback is going to shine over the Canadian dollar, because I think Canada needs to go through their reset. And make no mistake, we're all fools, late to the party, because anybody with copious amounts of money has already moved it to the U.S.
Yes, I know.
You can't make any money in Canada on your
No. Okay, well, Steve, thank you so much. God bless you. We'll probably have you on Saturday night if you're not in prison, okay?
Absolutely. Good to be with you, Mike.
Good night.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Care. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, so that's that. Blah, 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 blah. What am I doing here, guys? Oh, I sold a pile of stuff online. I got to pack tonight for tomorrow because I hate packing stuff in the morning. And anyways, guys, what's going on, guys? Somebody fill me in. Gold and silver is useless. Buy GTA condos. Alex is telling us, giving us some very good advice, that don't buy gold and silver, buy Greater Toronto Area condos. Yeah. Oil stocks will break out in Q1. Yeah, I bought oil when it crashed 3 times. I'm up in oil, actually. A lot of people, oh, you bought oil. No, I bought it every time it crashed. And it's up like 5.6% from the lowest I bought it at. So anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. It is a bit almost 3 hours. I'm going to go spend some time with my kids. I'm going to go tuck them in. It's 9:30 p.m. here, 9:22 p.m. And, yeah, I want to thank everyone for being on the show. I want to thank everyone for taking their time. Peter, if you're still there, Peter, I need you to, please, if you don't mind, reinstalling Skype and calling me back later today. And go from there. I'd like to know why Skype is not working properly. There's got to be something wrong somewhere. I don't know where, but we can't get Peter on. I don't know what's going on. I could see him, but I can't hear him every time. Anyways, guys, let's get my channel to 7,000 subs. I am 125 subscribers away from... Never mind. I am 170, 80... Well, I'm actually even further away. Wait, 6, 8, 70, 870, 80, 90, 100. So I'm actually further away now. I lost 5 subscribers in this show. So I lost 5 subscribers, guys, today. It's probably because of these Hillary Clinton photos have been it's probably these photos I'm throwing up there, and it's scaring people away from my channel. So, anyways, let me know what you guys think. And Alex is saying 5 people woke up. Good. I'm happy. Got through to 5 people. Comment below. Let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods, and add me on Skype. We'll have next week. Trends in the housing market will be fully open lines, guys. Trends in the housing market next week will be 100% open lines. I want people to call in from everywhere to tell me what is going on. Okay? And Peter, reinstall Skype and call me back. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. God bless. Godspeed. And don't forget to spay and neuter your pets.